Hello. Hello, welcome to the Zoom. Hopefully you can hear me. I'll just check on the yeah. I heard my sniff. Yeah, hi, welcome. I haven't shared it on thingy ever. I haven't shared it on Facebook. Yeah, I'll do it after. Hi, welcome to the stream. Please subscribe and click notifications, and you'll get a link when I'm going live, or a reminder when I'm going live. I do kind of alternate my times to suit what I'm doing. So normally, well, it was set for 5 o'clock on a Wednesday, but I'm doing it a bit earlier now just to make things easier. And so, yeah, it's best just to subscribe and click the notifications so you can know when I'm going live. I do try and post it on Facebook, but I forget sometimes and don't get around to doing it. So yeah, apologies for that last minute change. But yeah. So those of you who are able to join now at this time, then welcome. And those watching live later on, hi, welcome as well. Yeah. I'm going to change my screen. I'm not used to it being like this. I'm going to change back to how it normally is. If I can do that. Yep. Oh, you can hear me. Thank you, Daniel, for letting me know. Okay, there's my Zoom. There you go. Just widen that. Okay. Oh, so I'm just fiddling with the screen, but I can't seem to change that. Oh, there you go. I can do it that way. There you go. All done. Sorry about that. Yeah, so welcome. The title of the talk is oh hi. Let me admit Daniel into the room. You are, let me just find it. Oh. You're not what you're God. You're not who you think you are. There you go. You're not who you think you are. Okay. I'll try and remember that. I can't see it on this screen, which is weird. So it's hard to remember. Why is it doing that? Okay, I'll have to leave it like that. I can't seem to jiggle it the way that I used to. Okay, I'll have to leave it. I can't do it. Yeah, so you're not who you think you are. I was trying to take you off the screen, but I just couldn't. Just so you're not being forced to be like on the screen on YouTube, but
It's okay if you can't like get rid of it.
yeah. No. Yeah, I can't do it. And there's a waiter, I just can't. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
I think if you like go to like the top right where it says view,
Yeah,
and then you click hide non or no, actually.
but your video's on, so it's not going to hide you. I'll try it. No, 'cause you are a video. But do you mind having your camera off while I do the introduction, and then you can?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
No worries, no worries.
So non-duality is a really amazing, beautiful subject. It's like beyond the beauty of this worldly experience. So what I mean is, like, as a human, we have wonderful experiences, joyful experiences, happy experiences that are pleasurable and wonderful, but the beauty of non-duality is a beauty that's like beyond these transitory temporary experiences of beauty. Yeah. So what non-duality is non-duality is non-duality is a communication about pointing to that which is beyond, as in not limited to experience. And that's the beauty of it. It's not in this human experience reality, not in this transitory, temporary experience reality. It's a beauty that is beyond that. As in, not limited to that. It's a pointing and a looking at or expressing about what is not confined to that experience of human, that experience of limitation, that experience of movement, that experience of form and temporary experience. What is here that isn't bound up in that? And as soon as the mind tries to get an answer to that, it's going to again be a form, it's going to again be an object, it's going to again be a thing, an idea, a concept, a feeling. And that can be really frustrating when you're new to non-duality, or not, when you've been in it for a while maybe as well, is this frustration at whatever the mind produces, whatever you can possibly imagine to be it, can't be. The impossibility of getting hold of this as a thing, as a concept, as an idea, as a belief is always going to be not it, always going to be futile and never going to be satisfying, because you can't get hold of something that isn't a thing. You can't get hold of something that isn't a thought, isn't an idea. And so this is, in a way, the ultimate frustration for the mind, because it can't have this. It's so used to its effort and it's trying and it's going to get somewhere in time with something. But this is pointing to something directly direct and not in time, which is the same thing. Not in time is direct, because in time requires there to be this space, this future, this linear process of getting to. So it's not in that. It's completely direct. It's completely what is. And in this, what is, time appears. The idea of process, the idea of time appears in this. But we're so identified to that time-based, mind-based functioning of thought, of time, that landscape of time, that landscape of reality, thought-based reality. And so this isn't like a message that's complicated, or, you know, for those who are like intellectually intelligent and can hold these complex concepts and complex landscapes in their head. It's really a fundamental truth, a fundamental experience that isn't an experience, but a fundamental thing that is, in the same way this is to the bird, this is to the wall, this is to the hand, this is to my next door neighbor, this is to my children, this is to my fish, this is to the shoe, the tree, this just is fundamental to this. What's being pointed to is fundamental to this experience happening. So you can't be educated enough to get this. This is already primary reality. This is. And then that way it's not excluding of anything, anyone. It's totally inclusive. It's totally inclusive of everything. It's actually the only thing that can be inclusive of everything. I'm in this group at the moment where they're going this big debate about racism and transphobia and stuff in this group that I'm in. And it's really good how the admin are trying to become more inclusive, understand different people's needs and experiences. And it's wonderful that people are trying to be more inclusive in society, in groups and things. But I really do also see limitation to that. It's not going to ever be that, because it can't be. We have these limited positions and limited things, and that's part of the way things are, the way the mind is, the way the society is, the way you have to function in form. But it's great how we're attempting to try and be more open, try and be more loving, try and be more inclusive as humans. It's lovely. But the only real true inclusivity, the only real true unconditional, is this, outside of the human world, outside of the mental world. This is where it's at. This is where it's at. I'm not at all saying not to do these things of trying to be more open, more inclusive as a human. Of course, it's a good thing for society to grow and become more in line with that. But ultimately, where you're going to find that true inclusivity, that true acceptance, that true unconditional love is in what you are, what this is beyond the human experience. The human experience is varied, and it's colourful, and it's complicated, and it's all these different things. And that's beautiful. But to find that true peace, that true rest, that true love, that true wholeness is in the discovery, or the sinking back, or the dissolving into, or the revealing of what you actually are, which isn't a thought, it isn't an idea, it isn't a belief, it isn't based on time. It's going back to the title, I can see right here. Who you think you are, your identity, your experiences, your circumstances, whatever it is, your personality, your character, your history, who you think you are, who we're conditioned to believe we are, isn't actually who we are. It isn't who we are. It's not a rejection of that, or a denial of that, or an avoidance of that. That is totally accepted, totally embodied, totally included. But it's not actually who you are. And that's really important to point out, that it isn't who you are. A lot of us don't come across this kind of message where that's pointed out. We believe wholeheartedly, society supports, everyone supports, you are that identity. You are this, you are that, you are this, you are that. But that isn't who you are. And non-duality, if anything, is pointing that out. It's a revealing of something that isn't bound up in that person, in that identity. A revealing of the true nature of this. And I say this because this is not a personal, it's not you, it's not personal. It's the true nature of this. And so the human is going crazy, trying to find out, trying to fix what it thinks is the problem. It believes if it can sort out its life, it sort out its conditioning, sort out its circumstances, then it will find rest, then it will find peace and happiness for itself and its story and its reality. But that's really not where you're going to find that. I mean, you can find it to an extent, a level of peace, a level of happiness on that level as a human, in your story, your circumstances, your experiences, but that's always going to be sticky and messy and changing. Always changing. Always changing. But what doesn't change, what isn't changing, is this that you are, this stillness, this peace, this freedom, this emptiness, this empty beingness, this empty fullness that doesn't change, no matter what the circumstances are that are changing, no matter how you as a character change and mature and all these things happen and develop, and that's happening, but there's something that doesn't ever change, doesn't age, doesn't get happy or sad, doesn't gain or lose, it doesn't change, it doesn't move, it's still and it's free. And the human suffers because they are not in who they are, which sounds bizarre, but they're not in who they are, that they don't recognize who they are ultimately, that they're not, that there's that identification so heavily and strongly into the relative, into the identity, into the storyline of who you are. And so there's a suffering, a feeling of lostness. You've lost and you're looking for this peace. You can only see the solution in form, in things, in objects, experiences. And it seems convincing that yes, you will find peace through experiences. But it's not true. It's not true. Endlessly circling, looping. The real freedom and the real peace and happiness is in knowing, being what you are, but beyond the mental experience of that, so beyond the personal storyline of that. Knowing who you are, being who you are. Yeah. This remembering. Yeah. So, yeah, you're welcome to ask anything. Through the Zoom link or through the YouTube chat.
Hi, Kelly. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. I don't know if you remember me, but I was here like 3 weeks ago or something like that. Um,
I remember you, but I don't remember what what was spoken. But
yeah,
I remember you called in. Yeah.
yeah. So much has happened since then that it's like it's just interesting. It's just really interesting. It's like I think yesterday I saw through the illusion that I exist, and I think ever since then, it's just very restless. So I completely understand where you're coming from with the title of the video, like you're not who you think you are. Completely understand that. But now it's just like, okay, I was driving this car. Then I realized that like I wasn't the driver of the car. I was just the passenger of the car. And so it was almost as if like I was pressing the gas pedal for so long. And then yesterday I let go of the gas pedal, but the car is still moving. So it's like I'm not really in control of this body anymore. It's like the body's just kind of moving around a little bit. Um, what am I even trying to ask? You know, I kind of realized that this state that everyone's talking about with non-duality, it's a very painful experience. I would feel like, because like this entire time of me being a seeker, I always thought that non-duality was this like blissful thing. But I think what I realized is that's also a thought. Like the thought that like non-duality is just blissful, it's full of love and all that. Like that's also it's just all thoughts. I don't know if you've heard of UG Krishnamurti. He was like one of my final gurus. Um, man, it's like it's even like with the state that I'm in, it's like there are just like it's not even like a discontinuity of thoughts. It's just no thoughts. It's like I just have to be patient. Like I can't like let like words aren't coming out like the way that I want them to. So UG Krishnamurti, he was a philosopher who questioned. Here, wait, let me bring the screen so I can see it. So he was someone that questioned the state of enlightenment. He was someone who pursued a religious path from a very young age, but on his 49th birthday, he experienced something called the calamity. And um, the calamity happened when he asked himself, like, how do I know? What was it? Um, how do I know that I'm in the state of like the Buddha was in, or like how do I know that like I'm in the state of not knowing? It's like questioning like just the idea that like the state that you're in is the final state. And I kind of realized that a couple weeks ago. Yeah, like there's no way I can know that the state that I'm in is the final state, because like that would just be a thought. And then I think something happened. It was like a biological just devastation. You know, it was like if like my body was just exploding. And people could say like that's a Kundalini awakening, but it was painful. It was really, really painful, you know.
Yeah.
Um Thankfully that's for the most part all gone, but it's almost as if like nothing has happened. It's like the way that I see the world hasn't changed, the way that I like interact with the world hasn't changed for the most part. Um, and I guess in a way, I'm kind of glad that it happened, because I think with this realization of non-duality, you're it's a lot easier to understand the suffering of others, like you know, like um, what they're going through. Just because like I think the suffering that you face when pursuing this path, it's almost as if like you just understand the suffering of the whole world, because of that loneliness, you know, that you feel um, while you're pursuing this pathless path. You know, because like it is really lonely, especially like at deeper stages of realization, when like you're questioning like whether like your subjective experience, like whether you're like the subject, you know, of experience, or whether like your perception about reality, like am I looking at a computer right now? You know, just questioning that idea. Or
Yeah.
like am I like looking at a camera? Like am I talking to a person right now? Like are like the words that are coming out of your mouth, are they coming from this computer, or like am I like hallucinating these words that you're saying? It's like questioning all that. It's like it can become really scary, and like questioning like who you are, you know. It's just
Mhm.
it's very, very scary. And I think that, I mean, like I'm only 21, and I feel like what I've gone through was just traumatic. You know, it's like nothing could have prepared me for this. No matter like therapy, psychoanalysis, like talking to people, none of that could have prepared me for what happened. Um, but I guess that's all to say that I think with this path of like understanding who you are, I think the last thing that needs to happen is just you need to have just complete faith, just belief in something. I think belief is what kind of sets us free. Just believing that I don't know. You know, it's like the past like almost 2 weeks now. It was the first time I went to church, and even though like I'm really into like non-duality, I was like into like Hinduism and Buddhism, and then back to Vedanta, then like Taoism, and then Zen for like the last like pit stop. It was just going to church, just like going to like a Christian church, and I think even though like I was really into self-inquiry, and because I was so into self-inquiry, I was very good at like intellectually understanding my experience. But I think what was different to this time was instead of like inquiring into like the message being said in the church, I just kind of surrendered, and I started listening to the songs that were being played in the church, singing, praying, just completely
Yeah.
just surrender, you know.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm losing a bit of focus now. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
okay.
finding it a
Yeah,
bit a lot.
I'll
Yeah, I've lost
no, it's okay.
focus on what you're. Yeah.
It's okay, yeah. I guess I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap it up because I know I've been kind of rambling for a little bit.
It's okay. I wanted to let you speak and share and offload. Is that the word?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's important as well to be able to like express all your stuff and be able to get it out. So I wanted to allow that, but just let you know that I've lost that focus on what you
Oh
said.
yeah, no, yeah, and you don't have to focus on what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think that's like the most important part. You know, I feel like
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I
You don't have to
just check there's
focus.
no other questions. What while you're talking, just make sure that I'm not
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
ignoring. Yeah, it's fine. Go on, go on.
I don't know. I mean, if like someone like in the chat has like a question, you can answer it. I think
No, there's no questions. I've just checked.
there's no
So
questions.
yeah.
Okay. I kind of just want to like just kind of relax, just like rest in silence right now. If that's okay. Just like not saying.
Do you want to go back on mute then and to have your camera
Yeah.
off? Keeping it. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Thanks for connecting and sharing. I can't hear you now. You're on mute.
Oh,
It's
thank you
okay.
for listening as well.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think others can hear that as well and maybe benefit from what you've said and relate to what you've said. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
feel free to put any questions in the chat or to join Zoom. Just to speak a bit on what was expressed there. I don't really know what Daniel said altogether, but I just feel there's like a feeling came like from listening to it, an overall like feeling. And so the feeling is like or the pointing is back to this moment or back to what is happening. I think waking up is very painful, is very difficult, extremely painful. It can be, often is. Not always, obviously, but often it is very painful. And lots of things come up, lots of ideas, thoughts, beliefs, emotions, pain, and stories around it. And the relief to that, there are many things that can help with that. So journaling, seeing a therapist, talking to people, friends, peer-to-peer support, different bodily things you can do, massage, yoga, boxing, whatever it is to help with that stuff. But also the main pointing I would say also is to come back to what is actually happening, come back to the sensations of what is, the perceptions of what is, the experience, like the big toe in the foot, like the kneecap, like come back to what actually is. This is where freedom is. This is where peace is. This is where it is. This is what is. These thoughts about everything else, these thoughts about awakening, these thoughts about our history, these thoughts about whatever it is, our pains, they have a place to understand something and process something, but essentially, fundamentally, the resolution to that, or the way out of that, is here with what is. That's the only way out, is in this experience, in what is happening. We think like we don't see that thoughts about something is actually trying to get out of. Thoughts about something are abstract, we're already out of. I mean, they're appearing here, but they're talking about imagining something else. So they're appearing here as that imagination, but they're imagining something else. So this is here. And this really is the only true freedom, the only true relief is in what is actually happening. What is actually happening.
Hi, Kelly. I have like one quick question, if that's okay. So I just kind of been reflecting a little bit on like what I said, what you recently said. So I feel like I definitely do have some insights, but I don't think my realization's like quote unquote complete. Um, I feel like I'm missing the love aspect of it. I feel like maybe intellectually I understand, maybe like Adi Shanti says that like there's like the mind realization or like the intellectual realization of this. There's like the gut feeling, and then there's like also like the heart. And I feel like I'm kind of missing that love, uh, just that like blissful feeling. I would say it's like it just feels very cold, even though I understand that people understand where I'm coming from. I'm not like forcing myself to say anything. It's like I'm letting the words speak for themselves. Um, but I'm missing that love aspect to it. I really am. And like, I talked to my parents about like God, and I feel like my parents are very wise. They're wise beyond their years because like everything that they say can about because like both my parents are Christian, everything that they can say about Christianity can be applied to like a non-duality context. Everything is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like so both my parents are from Kenya, and maybe the way that I was raised, uh, I also saw that you posted a video or like a live stream saying that like about like Nairobi. I didn't watch the video. Like your what was it called? It was
Oh,
like
no.
like you are Nairobi. Yeah.
Yeah.
um no, but yeah, it's like I feel like the way that they showed me love growing up was very like just like get like preparing food is love for them. Uh Putting me to bed is love for them. Taking me to school is love, you know. And I feel like I've been kind of balancing or juggling like the difference between like African love and American love. Because like American love is can be very chaotic at, you know, just like their version of love means like just everything. Like it's like there's no like one form of love uh that a culture all agrees on. It's like American culture is like there's so many different cultures um in one like space that are trying to like interact with each other. And I feel like that just causes a lot of chaos. Um and I think that caused a lot of chaos for me in the way that I was raised and growing up and kind of suffered as a result of that, you know, not knowing like how to connect with both my parents and my peers at school because you know I'm from Illinois. Illinois, Illinois is like where Chicago is, but I live like a lot more down south, so it's like the Midwest like area. It has a lot of cornfields. It's just like a typical like small city or small town, I guess, in Illinois, and you know, at the school that I went to, it was all, you know, like it was like 90, or I would say like 70% white, 70, like maybe 10, 15% like Asian, like Southeast Asian. And there were only like two, three black people. And like the black people that were there were like black Americans. Like they're born and raised in America. Like they have like, you know, so like I was the only person from Africa in all my classes, you know, growing up. Like even in high school to an extent, there'd be like only like besides my sister, there'd only be like one other maybe African American, like someone born in Africa,
Yeah.
or someone's like if like their parents are born and raised in Africa. So it was very hard for me to kind of like relate and
Yeah.
just feel like I belong, I guess,
Yeah.
in that environment. I feel like that kind of stripped me away from that love, that blissful feeling of just being able to connect with others, you know. Um, I'm saying all this just to ask, like, if that's something that you've also kind of dealt with. Maybe like not exactly like like with my situation, but just like dealt with like feeling like alienated or you know like feeling like you don't belong, um, and just like just because I feel like I'm also a nice person. I can also tell that you're probably a nice person too. So I feel like maybe we like maybe we share like some similarities in that aspect of just like the way that we view the world. Um, but I don't know. I guess like I know I'm avoiding falling into love because I feel like
Yeah.
it can be painful, you know, because I feel like with this like realization of non-duality, it was almost like a heartbreak. It was like a heartbreak of
Yeah. Yeah.
it was a
Mm.
really just like devastating heartbreak. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready to go through that again with like another person. And you know,
Sorry,
it's tough.
with another person, did you
Yeah,
say?
I mean, because like recently, I've never really been able to like feel love before, but
Right.
you know, as I started to uh like see through all like the beliefs that I've had about the world, I started to like allow love into my life, and I realized that like I never really felt that love before. Like just like talking to a friend, like I'm feeling like a new dimension of love, or like talking to my parents, that's like another dimension of love. So it's like newer, like just interesting dimensions of love are kind of opening up. But I'm scared of like losing that, you know. So it's like I know I'll be like like intellectually like I know it'll be okay, but it's just like I don't know like what the heart will like I've never been heartbroken before, like actually like heartbroken, like
Yeah.
like have a girlfriend, go on like be like I never had a girlfriend. I've never been in a relationship. I never had like a date
Yeah,
before. So it's like
yeah. I'm not really sure what love you're talking about. So to
just
answer
just like just like just like just like intimate romantic love, I would say.
well, to answer your question, I definitely have felt alienated, alone, isolated, different, couldn't fit in. Um, and so a lot of seeking was around trying to fit in, trying to get love, trying to belong somewhere, trying to feel, wanted, a part of something. So yeah, I can relate to that aspect. But like, I think the difference, the love that I'm talking about isn't a personal love. So um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
from my experience, I felt like love was, and from society, we're told love is with another person, from something, from someone. And so this love that I'm now talking about isn't seen that way.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I guess
that way isn't true. That love of it's a personal love from you. I'll give you love, you give me love. It isn't quite like that. Love
yeah,
is seen to be this wholeness. It's what this is made of. It's made of empty love. Could say like it is love. It is empty. It is full. And so this love isn't personal. You can't get it from or give to. It is the nature of everything. It is what you
and
are. So this idea of being able to barter it and lose it and have it and not have it is part of this illusion of it being a thing, an object, a form, and you being an object of form. Um,
yeah, I
yeah,
think
it's a total different, um, not experience, but it's just different to what the mind sees it as and is conditioned to see it as.
yeah. Maybe I think maybe my life experience is different just because like what you're talking about, I've had that as young as like 2 years old. I remember
Yeah.
specifically when I was 2 years old, just becoming consciously aware of my existence. And so like, I think at a very, very young age, uh, it was almost as if like something woke me up to life. And I think because I woke up at a very young age, I never developed that love aspect, that personal love. So there's like the unconditional love, which I had ever since I was 2 years old. And then but that personal love was never developed.
Yeah, but
So
how do you have that? How do you have that love?
what
How
do you
can you
mean?
possibly have that?
You can't. Well, it's not even like a love. It's beyond love. It's because like I feel like love means like you're getting something from somewhere, someplace, but like it's just who you are. It's like, and I feel like that's like my issues. Like the way that I'm trying to communicate this message or this like idea, it's like people are automatically going to assume that like when I say like love, like unconditional love, like what does unconditional love mean to you? Maybe it's like I
So I've
it's
lost your original question now. What was you asking? What was the original thing you were asking?
I I don't it's I guess maybe talking to you about this might not be the best thing, not because like you don't know what it is, but like I think we're focusing on two different topics. Like because like you're talking about the love that you have for like the self, the true self, and I'm talking about the love that I have for things outside of the true self. Because like I like Buddhism is it's like Buddhism and Hinduism, like they're like Buddhism's concept of like no self, of emptiness, and Hinduism's concept of like the true self. They're both pointing to the same thing, but it's just the way that they approach it is a little bit different.
So
And
you're asking about love you have for different things, objects and things and
yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah, love for objects. I'm missing that love for objects.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like I'm seeing you. It's like you're just kind of like flesh. It's like what is that love for
Yeah.
like a human being?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about then. What I'm talking about is love. It's not for anything, it's not for anything particular, it's love of what you are, a love of what this is. It's not a personal love you can personify or objectify onto something. It's the
Yeah.
inherent in the nature of what you are, what this is. And so I'm not really sure what you're asking about, really. Yeah.
So you've never fallen in love before?
Falling in love. What's that even mean? What's that mean? Falling in
I don't
love.
know either. I don't
I
know either.
don't know what that even means. I mean, we have these romantic movies of falling in love, but you question what that love actually is. I mean, is it even true? So I don't know what that means. It doesn't seem relevant.
Oh, okay.
It just seems like it was a false idea that I had about being someone separate for one,
yeah,
and the other being someone separate for two, and that we could somehow exchange this feeling of love, and it's not quite how the experience is anymore. That doesn't seem to be possible, or even possible. There isn't any one separate for a start,
yeah.
and therefore love isn't a thing separate either. So that it doesn't even seem like it's a possible thing. It's a part of our human
Wow.
dream, our human making up things to try. It's all like our childish like interpretation of what of relationships and what love is. It's our limited
Yeah.
view of I'm someone, that's someone, I want to love them, and it's not really true. It's just this delusion. So yeah,
Wow. Wow. Wow.
what there is love. That's my intercom. Sorry, it's a
No,
parcel.
it's okay.
um,
I'm left like speechless. It's like,
oh, open the door, Josh. It's a parcel. Sorry. Um,
so there's only love.
but it's not this love that you may imagine. Like
No, no, I know. I mean like
it's not a feeling or it's not anything. You can't really put a. We say love, 'cause that's a common news word, but it's not really love the way we may feel it like that. It's yeah.
but it's not a thing though. It's it can't okay. So what is the point of this message? The message I don't get
What's
it.
the point of non-duality? What's the message?
Yeah.
What's the point of it? Well, there isn't a point in it. It's just it's just singing what it is. It's just singing what it
It's
is.
just
There's no point to it. It's like a singing a song of something. That's it. There's no point to it. And what happens in this singing of it? There's like this hearing of it, and like an attraction or resonance with it, and it can just do this like and it can sing, and it's just this a song, and there can be an attraction to this song, a resonance with this song, and this illusion can dissipate in that singing, in that song. There's no point for it in the storyline of someone. It's just singing a song. It is. It is.
okay.
Yeah. Maybe we can leave it there. That's a nice ending, I think.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Thank
I'll
you for sharing and for coming online. Yeah, appreciate it.
yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
Bye. Okay, so thank you for joining the stream. I'll be back next week. yeah, so yeah, oh, lots of love. Thank you for participating and for sharing, and yeah, lots of love. Okay, bye.